How to extract the maximum value from your online sales. So when you look at the evolution of your e-commerce business, where you are today to where you set off, it's probably very different. When you first started, you might have only had a physical place, a market stall. You might have started selling on Etsy or Amazon, and then over time, as you got bigger, you then stopped doing the drop shifting and then went onto your own e-commerce site in WooCommerce or Shopify, and then you might have added TikTok and Facebook as a range recently. You might have a loyalty scheme that sits behind it. So whatever journey, whatever retailer you are, you'll have amassed different types of data sitting in different locations that will have been really of different quality. If you've got a loyalty scheme going, that's a very rich data source, tells you everything about how the customer's transacting. Whereas if someone visits your market store when you've got a pop-up on a day, it's much more limited information. What we're going to do is I'm going to tell you about where I've seen retailers do really well at handling this and how they've built a strong set of data to extract the insights from that they need to manage their business better. In terms of accessibility, APIs are great for linking everything together. And if you choose one central platform, normally your e-commerce, and bring everything into there, you can then start using it in a much more consistent way. As well as things like a business-to-business file, which might sit in Excel. Even things like Amazon can be useful. One retailer I was working with, they're selling on Amazon, and they did the thing where they could be the lowest priced product on that day. They wanted to know what proportion of their overall sales were going for the lowest price compared to what they actually wanted it to be. We did that information, we did that research in WooCommerce once we got the data there. You can have some control over the data quality, although you can't change what's on the source. There's things you can actually do to improve your data set. I was working with a fragrance retailer, and they got every season, they got a whole new range of products came in for each one. And then we discovered that over time, every time they loaded 100 products on Amazon and on the physical website, they may be missing 5 of them, some information on 5 of them, which would tell them the brand, what type of product it was, and then meaning that customers couldn't search for it, and then we couldn't use that in the analysis as well. So by actually going through and checking what was there, we then got a better result for them. Another cafe I was working for during lockdown, they then became a meal producer and started producing all the meals, but they were struggling to work out which meals were selling the best. So what we did is we looked at the naming and consistently named the products, put them into categories and subcategories, and then when we ran the Shopify reports for the first time, you could actually track which of the meals were most popular on the days that they were run. Another thing to look at really is the quantity of data you've got there. The more data you've got, there's a big size, which brings you issues for storage, data costs as well, and then it's also slower to run any process because if you're bringing 10 million records and you've got to work with those, I know from experience it's much quicker than working with 10,000 records. So really I think about what data you actually want to bring into your process to be analysing for insights. How useful is this data source you've got? If it's something you stopped doing years ago, you probably don't need it. Another question might be, do I really need the data back to when my business first started? If you've got a very stable business with the same brands, yes, it can be useful, but if you've had lots of changes over time and you're doing something quite different to where you started, probably going back 3 years would be enough. But obviously you've got COVID coming in the middle, so you've only got a whole year of non-COVID data, which is why at the moment some retailers are often going back 3-5 years to get to a true picture before COVID happened. Some of the data you've got there also isn't going to be very important from your analysis point of view. You've got long florid product descriptions of 250 characters. You're never going to be analysed those usefully. Images are an interesting one. Some retailers love working with the product images when they're analysing their sales. Another lot you like to use the SKUs much more. So if you don't bring in the images, that's a big data saving. And another one I've thought of is really the purchases. What device you purchased on. It's often used in the searches to know how many people are searching on Safari against the iPhones. But actually when it comes to where people are buying from, it's probably less relevant. So I hope that's a good introduction into actually why it's important to have the right data in place and some tips you can take into your business. If there is anything you'd like to talk about, then please contact me. Oh, I couldn't get to that. I've got more videos to watch at YouTube, or you can get in touch with me via a message on LinkedIn or an email. Thank you.